Ladies and gentlemen, the championship is back, and your championship predictions for game week 1 are right here. Now, before we kick off today's video, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And do not forget to turn on that notification bell so you'll be notified every time I make a new video. Enjoy the video. I, like all of you, are so excited to get this season underway. It's felt a really long summer break. Obviously there's been a few bits going on over the summer break. Like we've had the Women's Euros, for instance, which was really cool. So, but I'm really glad to be back going now with the EFL Championship season. And then obviously next week we've got the Premier League kicking off as well, which is really exciting. And then we'll be doing both Premier League and Championship predictions. But obviously this week, as it's just a Championship playing, we'll be doing Championship predictions only today. But yeah, super excited. So cannot wait to get stuck into this. So yeah, enjoy the video. Right, so we will be following this simple score system to keep a tally of how my predictions are doing throughout the season. If any of you want to play along in the comments below, feel free to do so and keep a tally of your score. So it's 2 points for the correct side. So for instance, this weekend for Sheffield United versus Bristol City, if I predicted Bristol City to win and then they ended up winning, but say I predicted 2-1 and we won 2-0, then I'd get 2 points for predicting Bristol City to win. But then if it turned out to be 2-1 City, and we obviously won 2-1, then I would get 3 points for the accurate score. And then there's a bonus point if I predict a game with 5 or more goals predicted. And then I'll obviously keep a tally throughout the season. I'll keep it updated on there, how many points I have after each game week. But yeah, can't wait to play along. So yeah, let's kick things off. Right, so we're kicking things off with Birmingham versus Ipswich, and I think this has the ingredients to be a really, really exciting way to kick off a season. Obviously, it's going to be Friday night as well, which is going to be quite cool. And yeah, you got Birmingham, who obviously came up in in dramatic style from League One last year, which I think was really they had a really successful season last year. And they'll be obviously looking to literally repeat their success and get back-to-back promotions. And then you got obviously Ipswich coming down from the Premier League. It was towards the end of the season they did fall off, and then that's what got them over the line. Because there was a point last season where you thought maybe Ipswich might be able to pull off a miracle escape, but obviously it wasn't meant to be. And as with all of these games, I'm not really looking into pre-season because I don't think pre-season is a fair way of judging. And obviously for teams like Sheffield Wednesday we've got coming up later, they've not even really had a pre-season, so I can't properly judge, I don't think, from pre-season. So therefore, I'm just gonna go and give it a hedge my bets based on what my gut tells me. And my gut tells me for this game, I think there could be a couple of goals in it. I don't think it's going to be absolutely riddled with goals, but I think there's going to certainly be a couple either end of the pitch. And yeah, I think Ipswich could go away with all 3 points there, but I think Birmingham are going to make it hard for Ipswich considering they're at home. Birmingham are at home as well. So I'm going to play it safe and go with a 1-1 draw. But if either side snatches that, I wouldn't be massively surprised. So yeah, I'm going to go for a 1-1. Next up, we got Charlton versus Watford. And I'm really excited for this game as well, to be fair. This is 12:30 on the Saturday, as are a couple of the next games. Charlton, obviously, last season came up like Birmingham. But obviously they did it through the playoffs, which is obviously the exciting way to go up when you can. And I think it was a really successful season for Charlton last year. And they've spent well during the summer to get back to the, try and actually stay in the Championship now rather than, get relegated again. Because if they got relegated again, then it would feel a little bit, it wouldn't feel as good. So they'll be hoping to try and stay up, and build on season on season. and solidify themselves as a good championship club. Yeah, and then in terms of Watford as well, I don't know what we're going to get from Watford this season. It wouldn't surprise me if we get a good Watford side who are fighting in the top half of the table, and equally, it wouldn't surprise me if we get a worse Watford side who are fighting near the bottom of the table. You never know what you're going to get from Watford this year. But I've got a really funny feeling in this game that Charlton are just going to nick it. I'm not 100% sure on this one, so I might be playing a little bit of a risk here, but it's at the Valley as well. So I am going to go for a tight 1-0 Charlton win and have them kick off their season in fine fashion. Next up, we have got Coventry versus Hull. So this is another interesting game. Coventry don't traditionally start seasons very well. Well, at least they haven't under Mark Robins, who's been their manager at the start of the season for the last however many years now. And obviously this season they're kicking things off differently with a new manager in Frank Lampard, who was obviously there for the majority of last season. So it's interesting. Was it a Mark Robins thing or was it a Coventry thing, which I'm sure we'll speak about when we get to Stoke later. But yeah, if it isn't a Coventry only thing, then who knows? They might be able to win here. But I don't think they've won on the first game of the season for the last few years. So it wouldn't surprise me here if Hull managed to get something, to be honest. But I think this Coventry side this season are going to be very, very strong. I do think they are going to get into the playoffs. So yes, the big question is, will they be able to win? I'm really not sure. I think Hull this season, they're looking an interesting team. I think I have put them to go down, but I don't know what we're going to get with Hull if they get their transfer embargo lifted. Well, not transfer embargo because they're able to sign free agents, I think, and things like that. They're just not allowed to make any money purchases. But if Hull get their transfer ban lifted, then if they go and buy a few players, then I think that might just put them put them at safety. But for now, I don't think they will be safe this season, but that could easily change. So yeah, in terms of this game, I am going to back Coventry for a 2-1 win and have them break their curse for the season, start of the season. So yeah, could be a very interesting game there, one to keep an eye on for sure. Next up, we come to Southampton versus Wrexham. And yeah, this, like the other games, could be really exciting. Obviously, Wrexham have been absolutely flying through, National League, League Two, League One, and now to the Championship. So the big question on most people's minds is, are Wrexham going to be able to, carry on pushing up, the Championship now, or is this a step too far? Now, I'm on the side that personally this season for Wrexham, I think it's going to be a slight step too far. They've brought some, decent players in so far. I think Connor Cody could be interesting for the dressing room, as I spoke on the predictions video. So I think they bought a few decent players. Ryan Hardy as well, I like the signing of. But will they have enough to perhaps maintain a championship playoff push, or will they fall short? Or will they even be scrapping down for relegation? I just think they're a complete unknown this season. So yeah, I'm interested to see how this game rolls out, really. But what I would say is Southampton look very strong going into this season. I'm really intrigued to see how Will Still can do. And obviously, as Southampton are at home, he'll want to get off to a quick start. And I do think Southampton are going to get off to a quick start here. I think there's goals in that side. And I think Wrexham could be a bit leaky at the back. So, therefore, I'm going to back a Southampton 3-1 victory. But yeah, we'll be interested to see how that one goes. But yeah, I think Southampton will want to get things off to a fast start at home and just put last season behind them. Next up, we come to Middlesbrough versus Swansea. Two sides who I think are going to be in the top half of the Championship next season. Perhaps maybe not Swansea. I think Swansea could be fighting in the top half, maybe, but I do think they might fall short, maybe drop back to the bottom half of the league. But that's only because I'm not sure whether Alan Sheehan's going to turn out to be the right appointment. I think he did well last season as caretaker, but I don't know whether appointing him now as manager is a step too far, because obviously caretakers haven't always worked out at clubs. So I'm not sure, is he going to be different? Is he not? And yeah, so I'm of the opinion it might not work out like Swansea fans will want it to. And yeah, they come and play a Middlesbrough side who they've not made too many summer signings so far this year. Obviously, they were dwelling on the future of Michael Carrick for a lot of the summer, it felt like, really, before they eventually made the decision to go with Rob Edwards, which I think could turn out to be a really good appointment. And as I mentioned in the video the other day, it's a big thing for him now to try and recover a bit of the feelings people had towards him after he got Luton promoted, rather than how it was last season, which obviously was not very good at all. So yeah, so I'm interested to see how this one goes. I think Middlesbrough are just going to nick it though, so I will go 2-1 Middlesbrough. Next up, we go to Norwich versus Millwall. So yeah, Liam Manning's literally had 11 signings made for him so far. I do believe when I checked last night, which would have been Monday night, as today is Tuesday when I'm doing these predictions. Yeah, so he's definitely had like literally a whole new starting lineup brought for him. Which is quite exciting, I'm sure, for Norwich fans. So they've certainly gone all out this summer. So I think success is going to be very, very important for Norwich this year. They'll definitely want to be in the playoffs. I think it's going to be a very, very hard league though this year to get in the playoffs. I think many sides are going to struggle if they hit like a bad run of form throughout the season. So I think Norwich this year, they need to try and kick off the season fast and get off to a good start. And if they can get off to a good start, I think they might be able to maintain, and they'll definitely stay in a playoff battle, I think. But I do have my doubts if they are just going to fall slightly short. Millwall as well. I think, to be fair, they're in a similar-ish position to Norwich. They had a really positive end to last season. And, on another day, they could have made the playoffs. If they weren't playing Burnley on the last game of the season, I think they could have easily made the playoffs. So, yeah, it was a tough one with Millwall last year, really. But I think now they've got Alex Neil, who they seemingly really like. And they managed to keep hold of some good players so far. Ivanovic, Tanganga, which I think will really put them in good stead for the season ahead. So I think Millwall are looking good for next season. But the big question is, will they be able to go to Carrow Road, Alex Neil's old home? Will they be able to go there and snatch victory? I don't think so. I think Manning last season, for obviously when he was managing City, we were very good at home last season. And I imagine that's the kind of thing he's going to want to do at Norwich. Make Carrow Road a fortress. And I do think they're going to do that on the first game of the season. And I think they're going to win 2-1. So I'll go 2-1 Norwich there. Next up, we go to Oxford versus Portsmouth. Obviously, both of these sides were promoted from League One a couple of seasons ago. And last season, they both managed to secure their championship status for the season ahead. So yeah, I think there's a lot to be, this could be an interesting game. I think it's going to be very, very tight. I don't see many goals in this game because I read the other day potentially Colby Bishop could be out for the start of the season, which isn't very good news for Pompey fans. I also read the other day that Gary Rowett was concerned that Oxford were a little bit behind on their pre-season fitness schedule and whatever. So I'm not sure what to expect here, to be honest with you. Oxford are at home. Will that play a factor? Perhaps Portsmouth didn't travel very well last season. They shipped a lot of goals. So I'm interested to see whether John Mousinho can work out the issue that, where they were conceding so many. And if that can be rectified, then, Pompey then will probably go flying up the table because their home form already was really, really good. So yeah, it's just these away games Portsmouth need to sort out, if anything. So yeah, I don't really know what to go with here, but I'm gonna go for a 1-1 draw. But I'm interested to see if either side can win that. But yeah, I'm gonna go 1-1. Next up, we go to QPR versus Preston. Now Preston had a really fast start to the transfer window this year. They've got in a few players who I think could be ones to watch out for next season. Like someone like Daniel Jefferson. Will he be able to finally, get everything together and, become the championship striker? I think he can do one day, but yeah, I still have my doubts about him. So Preston fans will be hoping he'll be able to prove many wrong next season. Daniel Iverson in goal as well. I'm really excited to see him back at Preston. I think that was a really good move for them. And obviously for him as well, after being outed at Leicester, I think for him to be able to come back where he knows he's going to be getting lots of game time, I think that's another positive thing. But yeah, they're playing a QPR side as well, who've had a solid transfer window so far. Kwame Poku came in from Peterborough, and to be fair, I mentioned it the other day, but it's an absolutely sensational piece of business that is, especially with some of the competition they were facing. Because at one point it looked like Rangers were front runners for him. So for them to be able to snatch that deal, I think was really, really impressive. And yeah, I'm liking the look of that the QPR side for next season. I think they're looking good. The only thing I'm worried about for QPR next season is if they get a few injuries, which sides obviously normally get throughout the season. So yeah, if they get a few injuries, that's the only thing I think that could derail them. So yeah, I mean obviously Julian Stefan as well, not proven it in this country before. So if he's able to prove himself, I think QPR could have a good season if they manage to keep everyone fit. And I think they'll have enough to beat Preston here. They're at home as well. So I'm going to go for a 2-0 QPR. Next up, we go to Stoke versus Derby. I do believe this is a repeat of one of the last games of last season as well, because they were both kind of in a bit of a relegation scrap, but obviously both managed to stay up. And yeah, so we go back to the point I was making earlier when talking about Coventry. Was starting season slowly a Coventry thing or a Mark Robins thing? Well, I'm sure we'll soon find out. But yeah, I think obviously Stoke lost Berger in the summer, which could be a bit of a mistake, so to speak. But then they managed to bring in Sorba Thomas as well, which I'm really excited about. I think that could be a cool signing. Ashley Phillips in defence as well, bringing him back's a really nice piece of business. And yeah, bringing Aaron Cresswell in as well, I just think adds a load of experience, which Stoke need to, probably push them over the finish line to stay up if they manage to do that this season. So yeah, I think all positives there for Stoke. I think Derby have got one of the best managers in the league in John Eustace, and he'll have them raring to go first game of the season. He'll want them to deliver a win for the away fans. And yeah, I think Derby have done some good business over the summer as well. Agyemang as well. Agyemang specifically, I really like that signing. Andy Weimann, Danny Bath as well. I think they've done really well over the summer, Derby. So yeah, I think they could have a decent season. To be fair, might even surprise a few people. So in this game, I am going to back a 2-1 Derby win. Next up, we go to West Brom versus Blackburn. Obviously West Brom are under a new era now in Ryan Mason, which I'm really intrigued to see how he can do. Obviously he's been in charge of Spurs a couple of times on caretaker duties, but this is his first proper gig now, so he's gonna want to, he's gonna want to do well here, and start his managerial career well, because he could go far if he could go far in his career, I think. So I think West Brom picked up a little gem there. And yeah, I think West Brom have done some tidy business as well in the transfer window. I specifically like the signing of Nat Phillips in the defence. I think that's going to make them, make them really rock solid at the back. So yeah, for them to be able to pull off that kind of sign, I think it's really impressive. And yeah, obviously they don't normally do that badly at home. Their home form is usually quite good, and yeah, Ryan Mason will definitely want to keep that the same, because I think that's the case really for any team, isn't it? You just want to make your home ground the best place where you go and pick up all your results. So yeah, that's definitely a positive there for West Brom. And then yeah, for Blackburn as well, I think they've had a tough summer window really in terms of losing a couple of people who they wouldn't have want to have lost. I'm talking about, as we spoke about with Derby a second ago, the likes of Danny Bath, Andy Vyman, and yeah, they could have a couple more outgoings as well. So yeah, Derby, Blackburn are definitely in a weaker position than they were last season. I don't think they're going to go and be battered here at all. I think it's going to be a tight game, especially as it's Ryan Mason's first game. But I'm going to go for a 1-0 West Brom win. Next up, we go to Sheffield United versus my team, Bristol City. Now, I was reading the other day, this might have gone through by the time this video is out, but Anel Amahedusic, the Sheffield United centre-back, it seems he might be on the way out before this game as well, which, well, for me as a Bristol City fan, is good news. But I think he could be a big miss for Sheffield United this season. I have to admit, he wasn't the one who I thought might go this summer. I thought it might be Gustavo Hamer that would go. But I guess there was always the possibility of Amahedusic going, because obviously he's a very, very top class centre back, especially in this league. So I think Sheffield United, if he's gone, I think they will miss him. And that sort of thing could be unsettling just before the first game of the season. So I'm hoping that plays into City's hands. But I think Sheffield United under a new era under Ruben Sellers now as well, which and I really like the sound of Ruben Sellers. I think he could do a really, really stellar job there. And then obviously they've got the like Louis Barry coming in, which I think is an exciting signing. So yeah, I'm interested how Sheffield United can get on. Obviously in terms of City, I think we've had a relatively solid summer. Business is a little bit quiet right now. Obviously, you signed Radek Vitek last week, which I think is an exceptional signing from Man United, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how he can kick on. Joe Lumley, obviously another goalkeeping option, especially with the Max O'Leary injury currently. So we've got a couple of solid keepers there. Adam Randall as well coming in from Plymouth. I think that's solid business, and he'll probably be partnering Jason Knight in this game in the midfield. And then now up top we have Emil Reese as well, which I'm really excited about. I think Emil Reese is going to hopefully do a really good job at City over his duration here. So yeah, I think City have had a good window. Obviously this is an exact repeat of the 2 playoff games last season. Obviously when City lost 6-0 over 2 legs. Which didn't make for pretty viewing at all. And I don't think it's going to go like that, where we get absolutely smacked up there. I think it's going to be tight-ish. But even with Sheffield United perhaps having this Anil Amadusic, kind of transfer, if that, I don't think that's going to get in the way. And I think they are going to win 2-1. But I don't think that's going to be a walkover. I think City will make it tough. But yeah, I do think Sheffield United just have enough to get past us, especially at home. Next up, we go to Leicester versus Sheffield Wednesday. Now, first of all, I'm hoping, like everyone else, I'm hoping the situation at Sheffield Wednesday gets sorted as quickly as possible, because it's never nice to see any club go through this. Fans don't deserve to have their club, literally being taken away from them when they can't do anything about it, and they just have to watch what's going on in front of them, and feeling helpless. So yeah, I do really sympathise with the situation that's going on. I hope we manage to get a game on here, but equally at the same time, if there isn't a game on, it wouldn't surprise me. because obviously when no players are being paid, that's not a nice situation for anyone. And it's not even just the players as well, it's the people that work at Sheffield Wednesday generally. And it's just a very, very hard situation to be in. Obviously, there's a bit of light, a bit of light in darkness last week with Barry Bannon signing a new contract, which I think is really good. But yeah, I'm not sure whether that's gonna. I don't think that's gonna make any difference right now, because inevitably it'll probably have to be. The team will probably be made up of mostly academy players. They've not even really had a pre-season as well, which never bodes well usually for the start of the season. So yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to get anything really out of this game. Leicester, on the other hand, obviously recently relegated from the Premier League last season. They're going to want to come straight back up, but if they get a points deduction, that could perhaps harm their season. And yeah, they've not done too much business so far this window, but they have got a very solid squad, so it's not like they needed to absolutely, catapult for a load of business. But yeah, their squad's still nice, so they'll obviously have enough here to beat Sheffield Wednesday. How far they beat them by, I don't know, but I'm gonna go and try and play for a bonus point here. No, I'm not gonna go for a bonus point. We'll we'll just go 4-0. I don't think they're gonna win 5-0, but we'll see. I think I think 4-0 perhaps. They might get a couple of goals in the first half, a couple in the second half. I think it'd be something like that, really, to be fair. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go and back them for a 4-0 victory. I just don't see how Sheffield Wednesday can really threaten Leicester in this game. And I think there's a couple of protests going on as well in the Sheffield Wednesday away end, because I don't think there's going to be fans there or something, because they're putting some banners up. And I just hope everything gets sorted out at Sheffield Wednesday, because it's not a nice situation at all. So I'm going to go for a Leicester 4-0 victory there. And so just like that, we reached the end of game week 1 predictions for the Championship. Now, I was really happy to make this video now. I've been looking forward to making this one for a while. And by the time you see this, it will be on Thursday. I'm going to post this one, but I'm filming it on the Tuesday because I was so excited to get going with this one. Like I was for the predictions when I did that. So yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to getting going with this season now. Obviously, tomorrow night will be Ipswich versus Birmingham versus Ipswich, which I think is going to be a really cool game. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to watching some Championship football, to be honest. And yeah, we'll see who starts the season well, who doesn't start the season as well. And yeah, so yeah, can't wait for that. Don't forget to like, share, comment all your score predictions. Play along with the score system if you would like to. I'll keep count of all my scores. And then don't forget to subscribe, turn on that notification bell so you'll be notified every time I make a new video. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.